Welcome to the happy hour, everybody, right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB, super excited because I've been talking about this and talking about it. We finally made it happen. Boyz II Men is here.
Happy.
All right. I can't believe that I'm saying this again, but I keep repeating that this is your 12th album that you guys recently put out under a Streetlight. When I saw the album title, I got super excited because I grew up in the house with my mom and dad. My grandmother and my aunts lived downstairs, and my aunts and uncles, another set, lived upstairs.
Did y'all have different addresses?
Yeah. And I just remember like looking at old album covers and seeing like groups sometimes taking those pictures underneath those street lamps, and it was like the doo-wop sound and the harmonizing. Is that where the album title comes from?
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the vibe. That's the energy. Doo-wop music was very influential in Boyz II Men's development.
Yeah.
We used to listen to, especially being from Philadelphia, that's all you heard. Like, and not just the standard doo-wop guys. Like, you heard stuff from like GQ and guys that used to do like R&B type doo-wop type records that kind of made it cool for us when we were growing up, because we might not have been up on the Flamingos or guys like that, but they kind of modernized it for us, and then it helped us research. So it's paying homage to what made us, at least, and what made a lot of other artists before us too.
Yep.
Who decided on that title? Nick, if you want to chime in.
It was, it's funny. Normally we don't really we wait till the end of the album. And we just didn't want to make it too over dramatic. Sometimes people get really far left with album titles, and this one just came. I'm not sure exactly who it came from, but it was brought up in the conversation, and everybody was just like, "Cool, that works." So it wasn't really. It was really natural how it came, so we just kind of rocked out with it.
Do you guys so you wait until after the album is completely done before you decide?
Always.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Unless you're coming up with a concept album where the album is basically wrapped around like a certain concept, and you choose a title and then you create based on that. That's the only way that you actually do an album. With the title first.
And I think for us, we've actually been more successful doing it that way because we go in and create songs. There's no limitation to the creativity. You don't channel yourself into an album title and say, well, that doesn't go with the album title, and it kind of may take you off the realm. So we just go in and make songs, and as the picture starts to become clearer, the album title will come out of whatever the amalgamation of songs is that you come together with.
Wanye, if you don't mind sharing a little bit and pulling back the curtain, what it's like being in the studio with you guys. Is it always all of you in the studio at one time, or has ever been which song, if you can remember, where you had to do it in days and parts because maybe the three of you guys wasn't there at one time?
Well, a lot of songs on this album was like that because we're very busy. We have shows throughout the week and
residency in Vegas.
Ow. You know what I mean? And we have families and stuff like that too. So it's almost like you gotta get it in when you can fit it in with this album right here. So we basically sometimes we're in the studio. Like when Take 6 was there, we went to the studio.
Everybody came to the studio.
There's a couple other times in the beginning when we started, we were filming a documentary as well. With it, so it was like we had to get the content for the documentary, and a couple of the other artists that were actually like the actual original artists on these songs, like the writers on some of the songs, they came to the studio. So we came in the studio and we actually worked at the same time at that point. But for the most part with this album, we actually just utilized our time very wisely, and with the with working with Brian and Take 6 and all of those, it's just
crazy.
It's just one of those things that you just can't You
can't miss that. You got to show up to the game for that one. You got to show up. Boyz II Men is here hanging out in the happy hour. We got more up next right here on Fly. It's the happy hour right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB, hanging out with Boyz II Men under the Streetlight. Their new album, 12th album. Let's not get it twisted. 12th album is out right now. Make sure you get it and support it. Yeah. I would not be right if I let you guys leave out without talking about Philly and the history of the rich history of Philly. Again, I grew up in a household where we just listened to music. We had card parties. We fried chicken. We danced. You know, we did all that kind of stuff. Bikino. We did all of that kind of stuff in the house. And I remember hearing the names Gamble and Huff. I remember hearing Teddy Pendergrass. I remember hearing all those things. So you fast forward and you see the Will Smiths and the Fresh Prince and the, you know, Jilly from Philly talking about Jill Scott. Let's talk about Bahamadia, Black Thought, the rich history of Philadelphia. No, because I'm a hip hop head first, you know, so I just know all the artists, the hip hop heads that come from Philly, and I love y'all, like, just as artists, and I'm a fan, and I know that y'all know hip hop too. So what is it like, and how competitive is it being an artist from Philly?
It's funny you say that, man, because I mean, on that note, but another note, I me personally was a little bummed out when, no offense to Cleveland, that they got chosen for the R&B Hall of Fame to be in their city versus in Philadelphia, and no one even looked at Philadelphia, which I thought it made absolutely no sense in the world, talking about exactly what you're talking about, all the musical influences that we grew up and where they came from, and, you know, we might have been the only other city that had their own sound other than the Motown sound, so to be passed up for, you know, the R&B Hall of Fame, I thought was kind of ludicrous, but that's another story. But as far as the competition, you know, it was something that it was always a friendly competition, but it was competition nonetheless. I mean, we as R&B artists and even hip hop artists in Philly, we went in, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was a block party, whether it was a basement party, whether it was a talent show, you know, we were always out there to try to be the best dude in the neighborhood, because those bragging rights were important. Yeah. So even in our school, Boyz II Men, I mean, going to performing arts with, you know, Black Thought, The Roots, Amel, the Rue, and the Groove Theory, all those guys. It was like we were always making sure that we were the ones that was going to be talked about after the talent show went down and nobody else. So the competition was fierce, but I mean, always friendly, but something that we always made sure we were on our P's and Q's regardless.
Did any one of y'all ever want to be a rapper?
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
You?
Sean had a little aspiration. Oh yeah, I'm a big old school hip hop head, man. I did the basement parties with you know, B-Force from West Philly, you know, all of them. I mean, DJ Flash, all of them. I used to be down there with the whole crew.
See, I remember like Funky Dividends, all that. That was just like
Cash Money and Marvelous.
All of that. It was
hung out with all those kids. Yeah, you got it.
The Fabulous Life, Hilltop. I remember all of that
MC
stuff.
Shan, all that stuff. Yeah,
that was like such a sound down there. Like before you make it singing, everybody I figure at some point tried to have bars. So Sean, you had the bars.
I had bars.
Yeah.
I haven't had them in a while.
Oh, okay.
I wish I wish I could. Nah, but I couldn't hang right now. But I mean, the good and bad thing about Philly was, it did have, you know, a lot of hip hop history and all that other stuff. But I mean, we were below New York. We were right below New York geographically and everything else.
Always struggling.
Everybody just drove past Philly. In New Jersey, and to get to the Bronx and Brooklyn and all those other places.
And it's crazy because you hear about hip hop, you hear New York, and then it jumps all the way across the country to L.A.
Oh, trust me, I felt it. I'm from Jersey,
so
we got no love.
It's like nuts,
took Redman and Naughty by Nature and
Latino, and they still had to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
But you know, it's funny. A lot of people don't know that like gangster rap started in Philly with Schoolie D. So that's where NWA got their flow from.
Break that
people
down.
Don't. People don't. I mean, when you talk about
cruising down the street in my 6'4",
like gangster. That was Schoolie D all day long.
BSK are making that green.
People always say, "What the hell is that, man?"
And then when people heard Biggie do it, they thought it was a new thing when Biggie did that. But it was like, you got to go back.
That's 52nd and Parkside. Schoolie D.
Parkside.
Come on, it's the happy hour right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB. History lessons right now from Boyz II Men. Their new album is out right now. More up next. It's the happy hour right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB with Boyz II Men, who breaking down the whole hip hop history lesson.
Right,
Philly stand up. Shout out to everybody in Philly from Meek to Beans to, as I said, many people. Is Jaguar Wright from Philly?
Yes.
That girl can just sing. Like, seriously, shout out to her. So many people out in Philly. And, of course, the Roots, Black Thought, and Method Man was here. Jasmine Sullivan.
Let me tell you something. If we got together and did not even so much music, not so much hip-hop, R&B, whatever, if we did a concert of just Philly people, it could be a 3-day concert.
It'd be popular.
Wow.
It could be a 3-day because they wouldn't just be doing album fillers either. They'd be doing hits.
Yeah. Somebody need to look
They be
into
doing
that.
hits.
Not to mention, if you look at like half of the like black bands that are out right now, a good 80% of them are from Philly.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, we got some of the baddest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, instrumentalists, keyboardists, drummers, guitarists. Like,
They're all over the
almost
place,
all
man.
of them are from Philadelphia.
Yep.
Wow.
And in every genre.
And every
I
genre.
mean, you got
of
Chris
music.
McBride and from the jazz era.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we got the Roots and I mean,
Pharrell's music
everywhere.
director's from Philly.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you guys play instruments? Any one of you play?
Now we do.
Yeah, I play the guitar.
Yeah, we started on bass guitar.
What do you mean now? Like,
Well,
you
we
didn't think it was important before?
Well, no, we actually we played. I played trumpet when I was a kid, from like 3rd grade to 9th grade. But
Okay.
we all played piano by ear. But as we gotten older and we started doing different stuff, Sean and I just picked up the guitar just because we thought it made sense of what we do. So now
Okay.
we do like little acoustic stuff and things like that. So we've added it to our show. So that's kind of what we do now.
Wanya, you as well?
I play the throat.
Okay.
He played the throat. We bought him a $5,000 drum set, and it just sits in his house.
But yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no.
he plays the voice
I
box.
play the voice box.
That's what's up.
That's it.
I'm not mad at that.
Right.
I got
I'm
no time
still
for
doing the
nothing else.
beatbox. I'm
Nothing
still.
else.
He's Robert Plant.
I got it. Well, Under the Streetlight is the new album. Before I let you guys go, I want to talk about Vegas too. Congratulations. I
Thank
think
you.
when we
Thank you so
all
much.
first got the news, we were just like, oh, like it's so big. Like
Yeah.
like you just think of those classic and iconic people when you think about Vegas, going
Yeah.
all the way back to like the Frank Sinatras and all these big people who played Vegas. And when you put Boyz II Men in residency, how has that been?
It's
been great,
been
man.
great. We're actually the first black group to ever have a residency in Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of black groups have gone through, but to have
Never
a
have a
consistent
residency.
residency every week,
We're the first ones.
we're the first black artist to ever have one.
Tell everybody where you are in Vegas.
We're at the Mirage Hotel and Casino Spa. You got to put that in it too. So, yeah, man, you want to come to the spa, you can come do that and
Get a
come check
facial.
out Boyz II Men. But we're there at least 30 to 32 weekends out of the year on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
My birthday
At 7:30
and
most
the
of the time.
holidays are coming up.
Come
I'm
on. Come
on
definitely
out.
Coming to
Come
hang
on
out.
out.
That would
That's-
just be fun.
Hang
It's a
out.
great
Thank
show,
you.
man. We
Bring
have
the
a whole
fam.
lot of fun.
Thank
We got a
you.
live
Yeah,
band.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
we
good
got
stuff.
And I'm coming to hear y'all sing too, these new songs, everything. I just love y'all. I appreciate you guys. I
appreciate
want
it.
everybody to go out and support the album. And I know you get it all the time, but I just want to say I'm doing just fine. That song got me through.
That's what's
That's
up.
what's up.
It got me through.
That's
If
what's
you're
up.
going through something right now, Happy Hour Crew, Fly Family, just look up the song. I'm doing just fine. Life changer, game changer.
love.
All right, I
That's
love
up.
y'all.
And support our girl HB, man.
Thank you so much, y'all. I
Hip-hop,
support
down
y'all.
to
and I
the
love
gristle.
y'all. I'm gonna keep rocking with y'all. Go get the album Under the Streetlight. More Happy Hour up next, right here on Fly.